The Blackstone Tower shooter, who has been ID'd as Shane Tamura, a half Japanese, half black guy who was originally apparently reported as a white man with a gun by CNN because that's how they roll, right? Like, white man with a gun in New York. An armed shooter attacked 345 Park Avenue in Manhattan, the tower housing Blackstone Incorporated's global headquarters and the National Football League, among others, killing at least 5 people. Now, this is the story mainstream media is going with. This dude, he had some kind of like brain damage, bro. And he was angry at football. Yes, he was angry at football. And he meant to go and shoot up the NFL for reasons. I don't really follow football, so I don't really understand this part of the universe. But that's what they're saying. He was mad at football, right? He wanted to shoot up the NFL. But instead, he just happened to wind up on the 33rd floor. Nothing suspicious about that. And managed to accidentally shoot the head of Blackstone's real estate investment trust. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible, but, The shooter then killed himself, apparently shooting himself in the chest with an AR-15. That would be, I don't know how long his AR was, like maybe it had like a shortened barrel, but that is going to be tricky, right, on a full-length AR-15. I'm just saying, right, you would require like a little bit of coordination to get that right. It's not like you can just like flip the thing around and be like, boom, boom, right? Thank you, Sadie. Exactly. AR-15 in the chest, it's a bit weird. Shut up, don't think about it, right? It was a short barrel rifle. Okay, so maybe it was a shorty AR. There have been a lot of speculation that some of these pictures are AI. Oh, is Twitter going to even let me look at this? Right, so this is allegedly the weapon used. What a crappy what a crappy gun, right? Look at the sight on that thing, right? That sight is clearly for like long range work. What is he? I'm just going to grab my AR-15 and I'm going to go and shoot up football because I'm angry at football. Now, look, you see, like, even so, right, like how long this thing is. So supposedly he just turned that around and shot himself in the chest. Okay. It's one of those like god awful AR, variants where people like, put like shit like, torches on the front and like, make it all unbalanced and stuff like that. Very, very beaten up. Look, I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm just saying the motive for this will be very telling. Was the shooter someone with a bone to pick with Blackstone or capitalism? Was this another Luigi Mangione? Wait, is that the guy's? That's the guy's name, right? Luigi Mangione. Isn't there like a singer called someone Mangione? Or am I just having like a senior moment, right? Is it a former employee? No, apparently not. Apparently he was basically like a security guard or, something like that. But the weird thing is that he drove all the way from Nevada. Now, this is apparently inside the Blackstone offices. People are saying that this pic is AI. The reason why people are saying that this image apparently is AI is that if you look in the center here, it looks like these two monitors are sort of fused together in a very, very strange kind of way. I don't know. There's like looks like there's a weird microwave on top of all the, sofas. Why are there so many sofas in the Blackstone offices? Although, of course, the 33rd floor was not actually the offices of Blackstone. It was the offices of Rubin Real Estate, I believe is the name. And they're the people that basically own the building, right? So, the shooter was found dead on the 33rd floor after shooting himself in the chest. I don't know, that gun doesn't look that long. Maybe he's got really long arms. After basically sort of trying to say, he's a Republican, he's like Antifa, is he black, is he Chinese, is he white? No one really knows. He was a football player in high school. What the fuck does that mean? And, look, basically, right, like nobody really knows what the hell's going on. Witness says the shots were ringing throughout the building. Allegedly, basically what happened was he drove up to the building, got out of his car, shot the policeman who was standing guard outside the building, a guy called something Islam. Then someone tried to like run away to block the elevators. They were then shot, and he then let a woman go who bore a significant similarity to the sort of alleged target of this alleged assassination attempt. But you know, no one really knows. Here's some footage.
What was going on in there? You guys
We saw shooting. We heard shootings.
Can you tell me what you heard?
Ran into the room.
How many shots did you hear?
Like at least 10.
At least 10 shots?
It was so loud. It was like ringing through the building.
Did you happen to hear? I mean, did you happen to see the shooting?
No, I just ran. Everyone just ran.
And when you ran away, did you see anything? See anyone hurt? Nothing hurt?
Everyone was just hiding. Like half an hour or something. Just hold up. It was very, really scary.
So yes, there's just general sort of panic and all that kind of like stuff. But you know, it was all over very, very quickly. This is the thing. There was no like hostage thing. It looks like he shot these people and then immediately killed himself, right? Like this just sounds sussy. I don't know what really happened, but I believe I have developed a bit of a sixth sense for sussy stuff, and I suspect there's stuff that we're not being told about. So using an M4 rifle, they found a revolver in his car. A black BMW rolled up to Park Avenue and a man stepped out with an M4 rifle, immediately gunning down Officer Diradul Islam before spraying the lobby with bullets. The shooter let a woman pass. Again, this is the woman who bore a striking resemblance to the head of Blackstone's REIT unit. Killed 2 more, 1 man and 1 woman, before shooting himself. In total, 4 victims are dead, including Islam, and 1 man remains in critical condition. They're going with, he had a documented history of mental illness, bro. I mean, maybe. It kind of looks like a hit to me, right? Look, if I'm honest, right, this looks like a hit, right? Like that someone... I mean, you know, people would be like, well, you know, why would you do a hit if you were suicidal? There's a bunch of possible reasons, right? Like maybe they say, look, right, if you do this hit, we'll give your family like all of this money and relocate them, right? If you don't do it, right, like we're gonna, you know, kill your family. Like there's all kinds of ways why this could go down. This is from the police press conference.
Inside of that vehicle, officers found a rifle case with rounds, a loaded revolver, ammunition, and magazines, a backpack, and medication prescribed to Mr. Tamura. The vehicle was searched by our bomb squad and found to be clear of any explosives. The initial investigation shows that Mr. Tamura's vehicle traveled cross-country through Colorado on July 26th, then Nebraska and Iowa on July 27th, and then in Columbia, New Jersey as recently as 4:24 p.m. today. The vehicle entered New York City shortly thereafter. According to our law enforcement partners in Las Vegas, Mr. Tamura has a documented mental health history. His motives are still under investigation, and we are working to understand why he targeted this particular location.
Now, why this particular location? If it was like just a sort of random killing, well, apparently the Blackstone Building has been listed on sort of, how can I put this delicately, great Jewish locations in New York by the pro-Palestine sort of resistance people doing that stochastic terrorism, being like, you know, well, we're not saying like to do anything, but you know, obviously, right, like if someone did, right, like, you know, all that kind of like stuff. But again, I don't know, right? This is the guy. I don't know, that picture on the left looks kind of cool, like something out of Reservoir Dogs. He's just, you know, he's just like strolling in there being like, here I go killing again. Is he black or Chinese though, right? Is the real question. This is from the press conference by Eric Adams, the New York mayor.
This never gets easy. I always go back to the beginning of my role as mayor in Harlem Hospital, where Officer Mora and Rivera were assassinated. I remember watching their family members enter the hospital and a loud yell of, "No, God, please tell me it's not true." And I thought about that today when the notification came over from the police commissioner that we had a number of shots fired and we're still unraveling what took place. And our hearts are heavy.
Yeah, I don't think they know anything, which is weird in of itself. Allegedly, he took the wrong elevator. This is apparently a thing because it's such a tall building. Different elevator banks like access different parts of the building, and the 33rd floor is apparently like the start of the second bit, and so it is allegedly was trying to go further up in the building, but the elevators had been locked down, so he just started blasting bros. Now, this is the victim of importance, Wesley Lepatner, a towering figure in finance, leading Blackstone's $56 billion real estate investment trust with brilliance, but her deeper legacy was built on Jewish values, generosity, and leadership at AJ United Jewish Association, Federation of New York. So she was very, very involved in Jewish philanthropy and stuff like that. I don't know how you would square that with buying up single-family homes. Of course, the lefties are celebrating, basically saying that it's another Luigi Bros, right? The capitalists will be afraid of our fucking our downtrodden masses. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Apparently, the Blackstone Real Estate Investment Trust was responsible for taking $48 billion of residential housing off the market and renting, specifically targeting areas with high immigration rates so they have Section 8 to rent. Now, this is an increasingly common business model we are seeing throughout the West. Since the governments have basically agreed to support all these migrants with government money, it makes a lot more sense for these kind of like trusts to buy these properties out, then lease them to the government where they ram them full of migrants and they get a guaranteed return because the government can't default on the rent. We're seeing this all over the West. This is happening a lot in the UK as well. Hardly a very moral business. Apparently mainly concentrated in Texas and Florida. So I don't know, make of that what you will.